I'm so fucking pissed.
How many people in this audience believe in the idea that the way you think has some effect on your life? That your thoughts are intimately connected to your future? How many people think that? So your thoughts in some way create your reality. You believe that? So how many people in this audience have a clear vision of their future?
What's up, guys? It's Sunday and I'm about to go meet up with the magician. It's a Tinder date. I'm not pissed for getting rejected. I'm pissed on myself for rejecting myself. I quit before I even got the chance to try.
You think 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. Out of those 60 to 70,000 thoughts that you think in one day, 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before.
I'm actually quite scared, intimidated, because she's handsome, tall, and has a strong pondus. But I feel confident still, facing my fears. Let's go meet her.
Well, if you believe that your thoughts somehow are connected to your life, then the same thoughts always lead to the same choices.
It's interesting. Usually I never doubt my looks or the way I'm gonna be perceived. Today, right now, I do, just because she intrigues me. So it's like I'm invested. Never be invested in that way. Be yourself, be proud for that.
The same choices always lead to the same behaviors. The same behaviors create the same experiences, and the same experiences produce the same emotions. And those very same emotions drive the very same thoughts. And your biology, your neurocircuitry, your neurochemistry, your neurohormones, and even your genetic expression is equal to how you think, how you act, and how you feel.
I just finished a 2-hour date, almost 10 kilometers of walking and talking with this quite amazing girl. Super nice, super friendly, super duper scary, like the most intimidating girl I've ever went on a date with. Like, just tremendously successful and had a history of dating. Very successful man. Me being in a position where my confidence within relationships, meeting girls, is quite low, that put me in a spot where I had so many self-doubting thoughts.
I can't do this. She's way out of my league. I need to start with something much easier.
That was what went on throughout the dates, like on and off. I really had a nice time with her, but it really scared the crap out of me.
And how you think, how you act, and how you feel is called your personality. And your personality creates your personal reality. That's it.
I actually confronted her with these doubting thoughts. I told her what I kind of told you right now, that she scared the crap out of me, and I hadn't been dating anyone for like 6 or 7 years. I'm gonna face some fears right now. Use my fear-facing ability as a tool to get me out of the mess. Fuck you, Alex. And I think after that, I don't know, maybe that was an unstrategic move, because I think it fell apart a bit after that. Fuck you, Alex. I don't know, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it just felt like a win because I told her that, and that made me feel like, yeah, I'm man enough to be honest about it. If I'm not honest about it, it will feel like I'm just hiding something, and if that makes me not interesting, hey, then that's the reality.
So then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, a new life, then you would have to start thinking about what you've been thinking about and change it. You would have to become aware of your unconscious thoughts and observe them. You would have to pay attention to your automatic habits and behaviors and modify them. And you would have to look at the emotions you live by every single day that are connected to your past and decide if those emotions belong in your future.
I've been sitting here now for an hour just building up this anger towards myself. The realization, what I've done, the thoughts I've had, like,
How can you treat yourself that way? How can you have this self-doubt within?
sure, I have a low confidence within women because I haven't been dating for such a long time, but I'm still a great freaking human being and I'm worthy of whomever. I don't know, maybe that would have been a really, really good thing. But she did scare the crap out of me. To some extent, I'm very relieved that she may not be interested anymore. We'll see. We'll see what happens from now on. I still had a really good time. Freedom. I've never done this before. Freedom.
You see, most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. You literally have to become someone else.
This ain't happening anymore. I'm learning from this experience.
So your brain is organized to reflect everything you know in your life. Your brain is a record of the past. It's an artifact of all the things you've learned and experienced to this moment. So if you wake up every morning and get out of bed on the same side, shut the alarm clock off with the same finger, shuffle into the bathroom and use the toilet like you always do, go and get a cup of coffee and drink coffee out of your favorite mug, then get in the shower and wash yourself off in the same routine way, drive to work, get to work, see the same people that push the same emotional buttons, do the same things that you've memorized and do so well, then hurry up and go home, and hurry up and check your emails, and hurry up and check your Facebook, and then watch your favorite television show, then hurry up and go to bed. Here's my question. Did your brain change at all that day? We could say that you were thinking the same thoughts, performing the same unconscious actions, living by the same emotions, but secretly expecting your life to change.
Things are changing. Alexander 2.0 is happening. It's a reset starting today.
Nerve cells that fire together wire together. So if you're thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, demonstrating the same behaviors, reproducing the same experiences that stamp the same networks of neurons into the same patterns, and then produce the same emotions, you're going to hardwire your brain into a very finite signature. Because as you fire and wire the same circuits in the same way, those circuits begin to become more connected. And by the time you're 35 years old, this is science now, we become a set of memorized behaviors, unconscious habits, automatic emotional reactions, beliefs and perceptions, and even attitudes that function just like a computer program.
I say to myself, I work hard, it's tough, but I like the journey. But it's just been a baby little adventure so far. Now the real journey begins.
And if you do something over and over and over again, the repetition of those actions over time conditions your body to know how to do it better than your mind. And a habit is when your body knows better than your mind, where you've done something so many times that the body now knows how to do it better than the brain. And so 95% of most people's behaviors, attitudes, thoughts, beliefs, emotional reactions are subconscious programs.
Real things, real fears have to be faced from now on. I have to take this shit serious. I have to take myself seriously.
And you are here this week to learn vital information about creating a future and be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. Because if you are not defined by some vision that is bigger than you, and you are not passionate about that vision, then you're left with the old hardware of the past in your brain, and you will be predictable in your life.
I'm gonna enjoy the crap out of this journey. My life, for real, begins now. But I have to buckle up. It is gonna be a goddamn tough journey. And it starts today. I'm making the tough choices because it's the right choices.
So would you agree then? New thoughts, new information should lead to new choices. New choices should lead to new behaviors. And new behaviors should create new experiences. And new experiences should produce new emotions. And those new emotions should drive new thoughts. And that's called evolution.
This is happening today. This is happening right now. This is my new life.
So if your brain is a record of the past, and you don't have a vision of the future, then you are living in the past. And you will never arrive at that new future.
I'm not kidding. I'm going to get rid of my old clothes. I'm going to get stronger. I'm going to get a haircut. I'm going to change everything because I need to break my old thought patterns. When you do the same thing, you think the same things.
Every time you learn something new, you make new connections in your brain. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. Physical evidence as a result of your interaction in the environment and the footprints of consciousness is called learning, making new connections.
I need this. I'm hungry for it. Because then I'm not going to fall into old habits, patterns, things that messes me up. My comfort thingy things that I do. Like sitting here in front of the computer eating all evening long. That's one of my most devastating habits I have because I'm so goddamn comfortable here.
And you are here this week to learn vital information about creating a future. And be defined by a vision of the future instead of the memories of the past. Because if you are not defined by some vision that is bigger than you, and you are not passionate about that vision, then you're left with the old hardware of the past in your brain, and you will be predictable in your life. New thoughts, new information should lead to new choices. New choices should lead to new behaviors. And new behaviors should create new experiences. And new experiences should produce new emotions. And those new emotions should drive new thoughts. And that's called evolution. So if your brain is a record of the past, and you don't have a vision of the future, then you are living in the past. And you will never arrive at that new future. Feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences. And you can remember experiences better because you can remember how they feel. And when you're in the midst of an experience, all of your senses plug you into the environment. And as you're gathering all of this vital data from your external world, all that information rushes back to your brain, and it causes jungles of neurons to organize themselves into networks. The moment those neurons string into place, the brain makes a chemical, and that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And once you feel that emotion, you create a long-term memory. Now reason this with me. If feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, and you are feeling the same way every single day, Doesn't that mean nothing new is happening in your life?
I have to design that out of my life. I have to set up habits that will support my new path forward, my path toward a successful life, the way I used to look at it. Financial freedom, being able to date any girl I want to because I have that confidence, because I believe I deserve any person.
And if those feelings and emotions drive certain thoughts, and you can't think greater than how you feel, because you had events in your life that have branded you emotionally, and you feel sadness or guilt or shame or unworthiness or insecurity, all of those emotions are created from past experiences. And when you feel those emotions, and those emotions drive certain thoughts, and then those thoughts make certain chemicals for you to feel the same emotion, and then those emotions drive certain thoughts, the repetition of that cycle then conditions the body to memorize that emotional state better than the mind. And now your body literally is in the past. Because if you can't think greater than how you feel, then you are thinking in the past. And so most people then spend the majority of their life talking about why they never arrive at their vision of the future because of some past experience. And so if feelings and emotions are the end product of past experiences, you remember your first kiss, you remember your wedding, you remember the birth of your children, you remember catching a fish off the coast of Manzanillo with your 3 best friends, because you caught the fish and it was a new experience and you felt great. But you also have memories that are connected to trauma and crisis, to disappointments. And those are the memories that people remember more than anything else. And so if you haven't overcome some emotion that keeps you anchored to the past, then you tell a story about the past. And people say, I am this way because of this experience that happened to me 15 years ago. I am this way because of some event that happened 30 years ago.
Okay, like this girl I dated, went on a date with yesterday. In reality, she kind of is the woman I want to. She's really driven, successful, she's confident, she has all these things, but I quit on myself because it was too daunting. I told her that I couldn't handle her. She was too much of a woman. And when I think about it, I actually had a similar date 2 years ago. She was also ticking these boxes, successful, very good looking, confident. But I quit on that too because she was too much of a woman. She was too daunting. She scared the crap out of me, just like this girl yesterday.
And from a biological perspective, it means I haven't been able to change in the last 15 or 30 years. And Scientific American, a prestigious magazine, says that 50% of what you talk about in your past isn't even the truth. You make it up. Because you don't have the same brain that you did 15 years ago or 30 years ago. So then your brain and body are typically in the past, because thoughts are the language of the brain and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates your state of being. So if you think insecure thoughts, in a matter of seconds, you are going to feel insecure. The moment you feel insecure, your brain is monitoring how you're feeling, and you think more insecure thoughts, which then makes you feel more insecure. And the repetition of that cycle conditions the body to become the mind of insecurity. And then the person says, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you are commanding your mind and body into a destiny.
Sure, I have a low confidence within women because I haven't been dating for such a long.
So then how do people change? They wait for crisis, trauma, disease, diagnosis, loss. Something has to go wrong in their life where they feel so uncomfortable that they finally make up their mind to change. And why is that? Because after the trauma or the crisis, they don't feel like of themselves. And the moment they don't feel like themselves, they could actually observe themselves. Because they're looking at themselves through the eyes of someone else.
I use my fear-facing ability as a tool to get me out of the mess.
But my message is, why wait? You can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. So then, if your brain is a record of the past, and you are living by the same emotions that have defined you for the last 10 years, and you keep thinking the same thoughts that make the same chemicals, and those same chemicals drive the same thoughts, then your body, as the unconscious mind, does not know the difference between an actual experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you're creating by thought alone. And so your body is believing it's in the same past experience 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And your body is programmed into the past. And you can't create a new future holding on to the emotions of the past.
I need a complete reset.
When you react to someone or something in your life, you have a choice. That when an event changes how you feel, there's a chemical change that's taking place in your body. And most people don't think they can control their emotional reactions. And so then when you react to some coworker or some relative or somebody in traffic, the moment you react emotionally, you are altered chemically. And if you don't know how to control your emotional reaction after that event, and you allow those emotions to linger for hours or days, you know what that's called? That's called a mood. Hey, Juanito, what's wrong with you? Oh, I'm in a mood. Really? Why are you in a mood? Well, this thing happened to me 4 days ago, and I'm having one long emotional reaction. And if you keep that same refractory period going on for weeks or months, that's called a temperament. Hey, why is she so angry? I don't know. Why are you so angry? Why are you so bitter? Why are you so enchilada? Because I had this experience 7 months ago, and I'm memorizing my emotional reaction. And if you keep that same refractory period going on for years on end, that's called a personality trait. And people wear their emotions on their sleeve, and that's who they think they are. And they will talk about the past to validate why they're not creating the life that they want. So then if you wake up in the morning, Mexico City, and you are not being defined by a vision that's bigger than you, and it doesn't get you out of bed and inspire you into possibility, and you get up living from the old hardware of the past and the old emotions stored in your body, do you know what's going to happen to you? You're going to wake up and you're going to open your eyes and you're going to see the same people and go to the same places and do the exact same thing at the exact same time. And the moment you open your eyes, All of a sudden now, it's your external environment that's controlling how you think and feel. Because you have a neurological network in your brain for every person you know, every place that you go, everything that you own, everything that you do. And the moment you open your eyes and you see the same people and go to the same places and do the exact same thing at the exact same time, it's your external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal to everything that you know. And you told me you believe that your thoughts have something to do with your destiny. And as long as you're thinking equal to your environment, you keep creating the same life. To change, to truly change, is to think greater than your environment, to think greater than the circumstances in your life, to think greater than the conditions in your world. And every great person in history knew this. Whether it was Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, the Wright brothers, Joan of Arc, they all had a vision. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, couldn't taste it, couldn't feel it, but it was alive in their mind. It was so alive in their mind that they began to live as if that future reality was happening in the present moment. So here's my question. Can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet? But you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already occurred. The latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain from living in the past to living in the future.
Changing everything.
You know why movies are so great? It's because we have a protagonist, a main character, which we see go through a journey. He or she arcs. He starts out with these weaknesses, these Achilles heels that makes him imperfect. But throughout this movie, throughout events that are planned out, it forces this character to change, to make the tough calls, to face some goddamn fears. Whether it's in a zombie apocalypse movie, he will die if he doesn't face his fears by killing some zombies or saving that girl. If it's in a drama, there's the side characters that pushes him to make the right choices. The weakness is exposed and he's forced to make these choices. And in the end, usually the character changes. The thing is, once in a while these things happen to us. Somebody might get killed. External factors like work may throw everything around for us. The way we're living, family issues, big things once in a while happens, and that may force us to look at ourselves. It may force us to make these changes, to face these fears. But for most people, we just get caught in the everyday comfortable life. That's why we need to design our life. We need to plot our life. We need to storytell our life. Design it so that we have to face these fears, so we can grow, so we can do these things that will change us, that will make us arc, that will make us grow. I'm designing my life like a movie from now on. I'm gonna plot out the main events that has to happen. This is basically goal setting, fear setting, call it whatever. But if you make sure to follow through on this, if you're strategic and you're smart about it, it's a movie that plays out. So you have to write that good script so you could have that great life, that great movie that will be so highly rated. I'm gonna sit down and write a goddamn good script, and then I'm gonna sell the crap out of it. I'm gonna produce it, I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna be a great one. Oscars, here I fucking come.